I wanted to do an operating systems to fit me, personal, and not to build an operating system for other people. Operating systems came with a computer, and everyone was different.
Right.
And everyone was, by and large, horrible. They I don't know. They couldn't let you do your work. I started working on the Multics computer. It's called a GE645. It was just idle. It was just sitting there. It was ours, And so I took advantage. But it was on its way out. They were told them to get rid of it. But it took 6 months to get it out of the door. So I was working on it, and I actually had it. It was hugely complicated. The interconnections. It had separate computers to do everything. Separate drum computer. Oh, the peripherals on it were great. Oh my God, the peripherals! It had a set of disks that were faster than anything I could even imagine. And I wanted to write drum seeking algorithms. I wanted to get throughput on drums, because drums, in the computer center sense and in Multics sense, and everybody I ever knew couldn't deal with drums well.
Okay.
They would disks and drums. Basically, they would say read and wait for the read to come back. What you want to do is simultaneous overlapped reads. And you had to know where they're rotating, what head to use, where each head was. It was fun, but worthless. I don't know. That's my life. That's my whole being. And just about the time I was ready to start writing programs to read and write the teletypes to actually run programs is when it went out the door.
Okay.
With me hanging on to it, yelling and screaming. And that's when I ran off and found the PDB-7 that was totally unused. That was my goal, is to write a very good disk scheduling algorithm. And that's what I did on the PDB-7. That was the first goal. And it became the focus of the file system for Unix. Having a disk just sit there and you say, well, that's a nice disk. And you got to read and you got to write. And then that's not good, because every disk can read and write, right? What you want to do is have multiple simultaneous reads and writes to tune your algorithm.
Right.
And so you have to have these test programs lying around, and that means you have to load them up, run them, and run them. And suddenly, without knowing it, this was sneaking up on me. I had no idea. I was really behind the times. Suddenly, it's an operating system. All it needed was a text editor and a multiplexing layer to you run him for a while, run him for a while, run him for a while.
Right.
And that's it. It had a file system. It had a disk driver. It had I/O peripherals. It had, it had everything except the ability to maintain itself. So I needed a compiler, editor, an assembler, a loader, and user protection to run multiple users. And those were very small parts compared to what was already there. My wife was going to visit my parents. My parents were in San Diego, and we with the new baby were in New Jersey. So I shipped her out with the baby to. Two things were happening at that point. Fisher was playing for the World Championship in Reykjavik, and I needed time to write my 3 programs to get it, turn it into an operating system. It was going to be interactive, fast, as far as. It's a slow machine. If you had asked to do a big job, you couldn't get it done because the machine couldn't do it. But if you asked for a little job, it would be instantaneous. And a little job is editing and assembling, compiling and loading. And it would compile itself in right around 10 or 15 seconds. So anyway, it was meant to be where you weren't waiting on the computer. That was the whole idea. What I wanted to do was program games, whatever, lots of things. I had lots of things on the fire, but what I wanted to do is do those and not wait for the computer. I'd go to sleep worrying about something, and then wake up, yes, and I'd run off to the computer center and do it, kind of thing. But it was step by step with no pressure, no problem, no problems. I didn't have to satisfy anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I built up a user community internally and then externally that I get feedback from, and I'd weigh it and say yes or no. It wasn't a demand. It was just a suggestion, right? And it was a good suggestion. I would steal it in a minute.